Shemai, today we're going to have a look at the Rowan or Mountain Ash, or Sorbus or Cuparia, or in Welsh Criavolen. It's a beautiful, graceful tree that will grow to about 15 or 20 metres tall and is deciduous. It generally has quite a loose, rounded crown with ascending branches, and is quite often multi-stemmed. It goes by a few different names, like the quicken tree or the quicken beam, and quicken in this case means quite lively, as in a gentle breeze it will blow around and the branches will move quite a lively way. Mountain ash refers to the leaves, which we'll look at in a minute, in so much as they look very much like ash leaves and can be confused with ash leaves. A mountain, because it can grow up to about 3,000 metres high. It's quite good at growing at high altitudes. It's a pioneer species, similar to silver birch, and will quite often take over areas before other trees. It finds it easy to grow on wasteland and not so great soil and things. The Orcuparia part means bird catching, from the word orceps, and there was a job known as a fowler that would snare birds using horsehair nooses baited with these lovely rowan berries. The English name Rowan derives from the Norse runa, meaning charm, as it's said to protect against lots of evil. The bark, as you can see here, is smooth and shiny grey with horizontal lenticels. So just see if I can see any obvious. And older trees develop dark grey ridged bark. The leaves, as you can see here, are about 15 to 20 centimetres long, and you can see why they can get confused with ash leaves and ash trees. They're made up of about 9 to 17 pointed leaflets, so that's one leaf there, and each of these are the leaflets with a terminal one at the end there, with this kind of toothed edge, as you can see there. And they're a sort of greyish colour underneath. If I turn it over, you can see the contrast in the colours there. And in the autumn they create these dark red, yellowy sort of colours as they prepare to fall off. The fruit come following the flowers, and it usually flowers about May to June, and the flowers are about 1 centimetre with petals that are white, and usually about large clusters, about 15 centimetres across, so they're beautiful to look at, but unfortunately have a rather unpleasant smell. Then following that, you end up with these berries, and the berries this year are absolutely amazing. The berries, the fruit, are about 8 millimetres across, and it's from sort of August to October kind of time. And as you can see here, in these dense bunches, they're small and red, and usually contain about 3 seeds inside each one of those, and they'll remain on the tree well into the winter if they're not eaten by the birds. They're slightly, though, poisonous if they're uncooked, so you wouldn't eat anything like this off the tree. These berries are a huge favourite of the birds, and a huge valuable source of winter food. The flowers also attract lots of pollinating insects such as bees and butterflies, wasps and beetles. These berries can be made into a delicious jelly, and they're rich in vitamin C, and like I say, but unless they're cooked, they're poisonous. Now, we mentioned earlier Orcuparia meaning bird catching, and it wasn't just using the berries and catching them in little nooses. These berries in the old days could be crushed and fermented and mixed with oil to make what was called bird lime, which is basically a sticky glue that was attractive to birds. It was spread onto the twigs, and then the birds would land on it and become stuck to them. And it reminds me very much of the story The Twits by Roald Dahl. There's a huge amount of superstition and folklore associated with rowan trees, with mountain ash trees, and actually too many to mention here. I mean, ultimately, it's considered to be the best protector against the evil eye or spirit. It was often planted outside houses and churchyards to ward off witches. It's jackdaws going over. In Ireland, it was used to protect houses, and in England to ward off the witches. Like I said, in Scotland, the berries were made into like a necklace as a protective charm. And it was considered unlucky to cut one of these down. It was also considered to be a potent antidote to the evil eye and all things dark. Geoffrey Grigson recorded the name of Rowans as Casgangathriel, or the devil's hate, and the devil hated it because it protected so well against all of the evil. These red berries, like we said, were made into necklaces to protect from the evil eye and protect from fairies, those naughty little fairies. But it's also said that shipbuilders recognised rowan berry as being protective, not just rowan berry, sorry, rowan as being protective. And they would say that any boat containing rowan would not be overturned and no man would be lost to drowning at sea. So there we go. The rowan tree or mountain ash, it's a great tree. It's so beautiful, very striking in the landscape at the moment with all these red berries. Great food source for the birds, and will protect you from evil. So good chance to go out and find it. Remember, keep an eye. It can be mistaken for normal ash trees, so look for the differences in them. And good luck.